Hi, and welcome to today's video, which is for my makeup selection for the early part of summer. Now, and I've also I'll review the items that I've been working on for the last 6 weeks of spring. So it's roughly every 6 weeks that I change makeup, which works well for me because every season has 12 weeks. So it means I have 2 different makeup selections for each season. So I've gone for the 21st of the month because it goes with the equinoxes. So from an equinox standpoint, the 21st of June, which is today, is the longest day, and it is the start of summer. But meteorologically in the UK, when weather forecasters look at weather, officially it is summer from the 1st of June. So it really does depend. I don't follow the equinox for any religious or spiritual or any metaphysical way. It's just in my head, it makes a lot of sense. So not that it matters, 1st of June may be easier, but I've just gone this way, and I'll show you what I've been focusing on. So I'll try and go in some sort of order. I've really been focusing just on this Project Pan item. It's a Laura Geller Canvas Primer Illuminator. I've also once or twice used the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, which I adore, but it's not been a featured item. For foundation, I've used a CC cream, which is in my Project Pan, which I'm still working on. And I've got 2 items which I use in tandem. It's the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the last shade they added in the extension, 1C2 Petal, which is their second lightest cool tone. And I use this in combination with the CYO Long Lasting Foundation in Life Proof in the much heralded 101 shade. This is in an airless pump. I know it's been discontinued a number of years now, probably think since around 2021. And because it's airless, it hasn't gone off, I don't think. But you have to be careful. But I'm monitoring the situation. But these work beautifully together. Now, neither of these are heavy. This is probably a bit lighter. They do give long-lasting coverage, but I consider it to be quite dewy. This gets a reputation to be matte, and in fact, it's described as such in recent years by Estee Lauder. For me, it is a satiny to dewy finish, and I think it depends on the base that you put it on. So my base is always super moisturised, whether I use a primer or not, and I use a sheer amount with a brush. So it is sheer when I apply these 2 together, utterly stunning. So this bottle could last years. The previous bottle lasts many years, again, because I don't use much at a time. If you don't moisturise well and you put a thick layer on, it can look cakey, but any foundation could do that. But this is stunning when sheared out, and that's how I've always used it. For setting spray, I finished up the one that was in my Project Pan. I can't recall what the last one was, but I'm now on Morphe, and this is the Continuous Setting Mist. Absolutely gorgeous. It has a very fine mist. Now, I don't believe it changes the finish of the makeup, in that it doesn't. If you've got cakey makeup, it may not make your skin glisten or dewy. If you've got dewy makeup, it doesn't mattify. There is a mattifying version, I think, but certainly there's a dewy version. But as my skin is left dewy, even with powder, this keeps the finish. It may also help meld powders together, but it's utterly stunning on the skin. Love, love, love this product. So it may well be that I'll be buying more, or I might try the dewy one next. I'm jumping ahead here because actually I've been using this Fenty powder with talc, which I prefer talc because it's quite moisturising as a setting powder. And this is the Pro Filter by Fenty in 02 Butter, 28 gram. You can pick this up on sale, which tends to be quite often by either Fenty Direct or by various stores, and you can get up to 30%, sometimes 40% off, and sometimes it goes down as cheap as £18 or as less expensive as £18, but I think it's well worth it for the grammage. Absolutely beautiful. I prefer it to the Laura Mercier. I think it's a finer milled product. Let's see what else. I've also been using this Laura Geller for setting eyeliner, so that's really the purpose of that. It's quite a heavy powder, but it's fine, but it's got a lot of pigment to it, I'm going to say. So moving on, I'm just going to random pick for the other base products. I've been using this Colour Tattoo Eye from Maybelline. So I started this either at the end of last year or the early part of this year, and I'm over halfway through. I'm just focused on the one eyeshadow primer at a time. Let me see what else I've got. For face, I've been using this MAC. It's under the blush range, but it's actually a contour Back to Nature that's discontinued. I use this under the chin. It's also in my project pan. So the items that I've shown you, other than the foundations, are going to remain in the next 6 weeks, because there are many items in my project pan I don't roll out, or I just use one at a time, and an items, you know, that represent that is mascara. I only have one mascara open and one primer, so I'm using the Lash Paradise primer. I finished my Dior, didn't like it at all. It did nothing for my lashes. This is beautiful. It coats the light, it thickens and lengthens lashes. I'm not sure to what degree it curls lashes. I think it's supposed to, but I have curly lashes. Utterly stunning. I will continue using this. There are others that are quite nice, but I really do enjoy this Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. And then I've got their Real Magnetic from Benefit. This is good for coating to give a general daytime appearance that's not particularly dramatic. It doesn't build on itself particularly well, even though it says magnetic. It can if you spend a long time, but it's quite easy to apply. It's not smeary, so it is a lovely day-to-day mascara. So they will remain. Also, I've got from Umar the Blowout fibre gel for brows. This is on its last legs, so this will be finished very soon. I'm also using this. I've just finished a brow pencil, so I started this in the last couple of weeks or so. It's a Max Factor pencil. It's dried out a bit. I got it in about February at a discount store. It's a bit chalky, but I'm able to get it to work, and there's a powder at the other end. So this is my Max Factor. I'm not sure if this is still available actually, because it was on a clearance store. I'm also using the Pillow Talk Beauty Light wand in medium, which isn't pink at all. It's more of a rust colour, dark rust. So it is very dark. I think it's only suitable for dark skin tones, not even medium. If not, it would look at a blush. It wouldn't look like a highlighter. But yeah, I'm able to, this will continue to stay in because I use it on top of my Rocketeur, which is in my project pan. There it is. It's a 1.6 gram travel size that I got in a kit. I've also been using for colour correctors. This I don't have any proper concealers, but this is from a concealer range by Maybelline. It's the Eraser Eye in Brighton. This has had a resurgence. A lot of people are singing its praises. It's been out a number of years. I've had this a long time. It pushes up from the bottom. It's an airless pump. It's gone a bit thick, but I'm using this under eye on top of a colour corrector, which has been this from Charlotte Tilbury, which I do not recommend because although it looks like it's an emollient cream, it goes to a powder very quickly and it can look cakey. It just looks terrible. It looks like a very dry powder. Now, it doesn't build well on itself, so it doesn't actually give a lot of coverage either, so it's not particularly great at anything for me. It might be better for oily skin, but what I will say is your eyelids and underneath the eye, lower eyelid, do not produce oil, but I accept if you've got oily skin, oil can migrate, so it may well be good for young people with oily skin. Otherwise, just be very careful. I can make it work with a very rich moisturised base, but yeah, I'll get it used up and I'm going to probably go back to my Bobbi Brown, which is my favourite. Let's just see other random things I've got. This, I haven't actually brought the container down, but this is the Milk contour stick. I think it's in Toasted. I filled this up a number of months ago because the sticker stopped working. So all of the stick is in here now, so I haven't got an awful lot left. I use this one underneath the cheekbones. I've also got another product that I've not brought down with me. It's in a little bag and it has decants in, and it's basically the Too Faced contour bronzer stick that came out a few months ago. I've mashed up some of that into a pot with whitener, and I use that because the whitener I've got's got pink in it, so it's cooled it down, and I used it as a outer perimeter contour for the upper part of my face. So I'm working on that. I've got here for eyeliners, I've got 3. This is new in, it's a bit emollient, it slides a bit, but it's a lovely colour. This is by Revlon. It's a champagne wind up pencil. Now what I will say is to my knowledge, Revlon isn't sold in stores anymore in the UK. They've withdrawn from the UK market about a year ago, which is very sad. You can get some Revlon online and in the UK, but sometimes you've got to source out of the UK for the stuff, which is very sad. It's a lovely brand, but I do hope they come back into stores. Now, I've got the two eyeliners, are both in Project Pan. I've got this Lord & Berry, which is in my main Project Pan in brown. It was only a mini, and that is it. It's supposed to be a bronzy colour from the cap. Can you see it's metallic, but it isn't. And then I've got a black, which is quite an oily black. That's why it needs powder to set down, from Rodial. That's in my 50 Shades of Black. I used the corresponding brown one up recently. There it is. So they will remain, as will the Rowan eyeshadow. I use this as a topper. This is in Disco Eye in the Universal shade. There is another shade that's a golden colour. So that's where I'm up to. There isn't a lot left. It isn't easy to pick up. It wasn't easy when it was full, but now it's on its last leg. I can get a stiffer brush in to pick up product, but that will remain. I am enjoying the items. I've also been using, this is the final product to show you, the Naked 3 eyeshadow palette. I've used that with other Project Pan items. Really, really enjoyed this. It's absolutely stunning. Yep, it's had quite a bit of use. So that's where I am. As you can see, I'm not wearing makeup because I'm filming this before I start putting on makeup afresh. Oh, and I've also got a Zao palette, and in there I've got a Project Pan item, which is this book from Urban Decay Naked, which I use with this white, which is also from Urban Decay. I've got this little brow bone highlighter, which is soon going to be finished. So this will remain in my selection. And the final item is the Hourglass Dragon palette from Autumn Winter 24. Absolutely stunning. I have used this as a neutral bronzer, mixed it with the pink, which I didn't think I'd use, and it actually cools down the bronzer. Absolutely stunning. I've used a lot of this coral as a blush. This is a blush topper because it's quite orangey. Love it. And then the two ambient lighting powders. Stunning. It's a pity the UK didn't get to build the palette, which came out recently in a quad. US had it. I think it's sold out in the US, but I would love to have that selection here. But I'm keenly seeing what palettes will be released for the festive period in 2025. If there's a warm tone edit that will suit my tone, I will pick it up, but only if there's warm tone. The problem with Hourglass is the bronzers run warm and the blushes warm, cool toned. So we'll see. So the selection I've got. Oh, and another item I found is another eyeliner, which I used with the Naked palette, and this is beautiful. It's by Olme, and it is a metallic burgundy, and it shimmers absolutely stunning. So I got that at a clearance store, love it, but a little goes a long way. So I'll show you the items I am rolling in. I'm going to try and use some of this. It is the Primelab by L'Oreal Redness Eraser. I can't see it did a lot, but I'm going to try and use this. If I don't like it, I'll pass it on. I've also got by Bare Minerals a Prime Time. I might try and use a little of this. This is the original Pore Minimizer. I'll add that to the mix. Moving on to foundation, I have this I'm going to focus on, which is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow, which came out in the last couple of years in the UK. Now only via Amazon. It's never been released into any online store or physical store. Boots carry a lot of L'Oreal, as does Superdrug, but the one for oily skin, combination skin, was released first. I think that's the older of the two foundations, this secondary. Unfortunately, it never hit UK stores, and I think it's because it was agreed with Amazon that they would be the only supplier. The problem is that Amazon, well, the pricing structure is quite odd. I was able to pick this up again. I think I paid around £7 or £8 for this. Recently I saw this for just under £6, so I've bought loads of backups because the rest of the shades, there's only 6 shades, were anything from £17 to £20. So it makes me think that this may be being phased out, at least in the UK. So I bought a number of backups. This to me is stunning. It does have alcohol in, and that is to allow it to dry rapidly, but it is a very liquidy formula. So it's reminiscent of, although this is older than the new Urban Decay liquid, the Lancome liquid. Now, bearing in mind that L'Oreal owns Urban Decay and Lancome, it's not surprising that as this has been a hit formula, that they have also used, they've brought it out in the more expensive ranges, but this is stunning. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the same item. But I don't know whether the Urban Decay I think they've used this because it's glowy rather than matte, where the other version with the red labelling for oily skin is matte, I think. But this is so, so, so beautiful. And a number of makeup artists are now recommending the Pro Glow. I found it last year and thought it is amazing. So I understand some people are sensitive to alcohol. And one way is, if you are, and you can tolerate this, is to use it now and again. Perhaps don't use it every day. I don't use it every day, but gosh, it's stunning and it lasts so, so, so well. So there you go. What else have I got here? For setting powder, I've also got another that I'm putting in, and I've actually got something to show you here on this. I've just picked it up now. Unfortunately, I've handled it, so it's got marks on, but this is new to me. Can you see this? Utterly stunning. This is an antique package, compact. Now, this is a UK brand called Stratton of London, Strattan, I think it is, or it could be ON. And these are readily available on eBay and on Vinted, for example. So there's hundreds of designs, and there's even different shapes. So this is a round brass compact. It's extremely heavy. Now, I think they sold makeup for 50 or 60 years. They've been long time defunct. They don't make products anymore, but they're absolutely stunning. Now, I wasn't sure if this is enamel, but I think it could be Bakelite. It's got a mother of pearl inset and some Marquisite Diamante. It's very, very heavy and substantial, which I like. So I wanted to use this for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Powder, which is a setting powder that's it's not loose, it's a pressed powder. Unfortunately, the ones I had were the original formula, or the original component where you can't get it out. It's glued in. So I did get it out, but I broke the powder. I repressed it, and it's just broke again as I was filming this video first time round. So basically what I've done is the powder's gone in here. I have ordered a loose refill, a press refill that just comes on its own, which I will put into this once I finish the powder I've got. The reason I'm doing it this way is this powder I've had for many years from Charlotte Tilbury, and I want to finish it off. So basically this is the compact. It was brand new. It is old, and it has a lip, an insert, and in there is the loose powder. So it's not going to come through because this is for either pressed powder or loose powder. So to open it, there is a little toggle that you have to pull out to release it. It's got a really strong mechanism, and then you lift the brass element. I'll try and do it. It's not the easiest, but it can be done. Yeah, I think the problem is I've got it the wrong way round. There, and that is the powder. I'll show you the state of it. That's it. So I'm going to use a puff or a brush and get that used up. So it's really as a touch-up powder when I'm out. And there it is, utterly stunning. I'm going to pick up some more of these, and I think I paid £10 for this. Absolutely stunning. Love, love, love this. And it's, like I say, it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's my little compact, and this is the original powder, the powder puff. I'll put it in. I won't use it. I will use a brush when I go out, or a little powder puff, a more modern one that performs a little better, but I'm glad to have this. It's a stunning piece of history, makeup history. I think they only sold in the UK. Then, oh, sorry, I've knocked you, I'm very sorry. I've actually got, let's see what else I've got. I'll go to my face selection. So for face palettes, I've got this Bobbi Brown, which I picked up towards the end of last year. This was released, I think, towards the end of 23. It's a Sculpt and Glow palette in medium. So here it is. Love it. So what I'm going to do is focus on this. These are gel formulas, so they're not easy to pick up. You need a stiff brush. A very soft brush will do nothing. It'll just glide over the top. It would pick up the highlighter though. That's a bit softer, but I look forward to using these. And I will swatch the colours now. So this is a shimmery, well, slight shimmer to the contour stroke bronzer. And these are the shades Utterly Stunning. And this can run a bit not warm enough for me, so I can mix the two together and get a shade that I think is perfect for me. So this will be added in, and the hourglass is pulled out. For my eyeshadow palette, I've got a Viseart. So this is a deleted palette. It is the Spritz Edit, so it was a summer edit in a 12 pan. Now what I've done is I've cannibalized this and the other Petit Pro, which I have, which is in Theory Volume 2. I think it's in Theory, or Petit Pro Volume 2. And the reason is I've taken out the purplish shades because they'd gone off. And that's because Viseart shadows are beautiful, but their mattes will go hard after a couple of years and stop giving pigment. You can scrape the top off, but basically they're not colours I like, and they're not performing as well. And it's because Viseart are for professional makeup artists, and they say keep them for a year or two and discard. So I'm not being critical of Viseart for that. So these are the two shadows, or maybe it's them three. There's 2 or 3 shadows I've put in. Maybe it's them 3 from another palette. And this is a lovely summery edit. Now, from the other palette, I've got 4 out of the 8 which I'm keeping, but I thought I'd put all these together. They sit well together, and this will be my sole focus palette, along with my Project Pan items and the brow bone colour that I've already got. So I'm going to focus on this, and I think these yeah, you can tell they're very summery, and I do love orange and coral. So that's the eyeshadow palette. For other face items I'm going to show you, I've got 2 from RMS Beauty. So I've got the Hydra Dimension blush powder, which is my more recent purchase. I've not used it, and I will be able to get focus on this. It's just this, the Bobbi Brown, and my Project Pan item. So this is beautiful. It's in Crystal Slipper. I've also got the corresponding bronzer, and this is in Beach Walk Betty. So there it is. So I'll be focusing on them. Absolutely stunning. Not used that. I also should have shown you, but I'm sorry, it's an omission. For lipsticks, I have been using these. Now I did finish a lip gloss up. That was in a Project Pan. I've got this pink, which is in a Project Pan, which obviously remains, but I keep my lipsticks separate to the rest of the makeup because I do top them up during the day. I've got my Studio 10, which is like a crystalline, pearlized, corally peach, which I'm using. This will stay until it's finished. And then I have this Chanel, and this is in Boy. It's a not quite a balm, but it's a balmy type lipstick in Boy. And there it is, Utterly Stunning. This was in my 50 Shades of Black Project Pan, and I have reached the goal of 50 uses. So that's where I'm up to. So this is stunning, but I'll be rolling this out. The only thing, it doesn't last very long, but it makes up more than its lack of, durability and wearability in terms of its beauty, really. It's a lovely, lovely finish. So what I will be rolling in its place is, I'll show you. I've got this MAC lipstick in Neon Orange. It's very similar to my nail polish. Now the nail polish I got in a kit. Now I think it was in the Just My Look summer kit, and it's got Paddington over something it's called, but it's a coral. This is very similar in colour, and I will be wearing a lot of this over summer, so this will go very, very well. So this is the neon orange. I've also got from Kiko Milan a lip pencil that will go well with this. The only thing is it's creamy and doesn't last very long, but it's a better match than other pencils that I have that I'm using at the moment. I try and start and finish pencils. So the pencils I've been working on are the 3 that's in my 50 Shades of Black. There they are. So I've had quite a lot of use out of that. I'll continue to use those. And I'm also going to be focusing on this one I've never used. I've only had it a couple of months. It's by Surratt and it's Soleil de Nuit, I think it's called. Soleil de Nuit, so it's Nude Sun, I think. And I haven't used it at all, but this is very much like the, there it is, it's like the Chanel. In fact, because I love a balmy, shiny lipstick, I'm going to put the Chanel next to it. It's got a bit more colour and the Chanel has got a bit more sparkle. So that's the Chanel, that is the Surratt. So yeah, I will have several lip products to work through. And then finally, the final item to show you is another brow product, because I'll be focusing on finishing off the 2 ends of the Max Factor, and I'm going to be starting, I've never tried this, the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their brow gel, I think it's the Wiz Gel. So I'm going to start that to actually give some more body to my brows. They're very fine, and also to position them. And this is the corresponding brush that goes with it. I got it in a kit. I don't know how I'm going to get this off. It's been jammed on, but I'll get it off. It's a spoolie and then a brush. So they're all the items that I'm going to be focusing on. If I've missed any, please forgive me, but that's everything. And I've been keeping you a long time, for 26 minutes and counting, but can I say thank you very much for watching, as I do appreciate you spending some time with me, and your time is valuable. Let me know your thoughts down below. Otherwise, hopefully I shall see you soon in another video. Take care of yourselves and bye for now.